Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Wow! Just take a second and let that word sit in the air. After 161 grueling, exhausting, nerve-shredding games, the Toronto Blue Jays are standing at the edge of everything. Game 162 is no longer just a number on a schedule. It's a gatekeeper, a judge, and a potential savior all rolled into one. Today decides whether this season becomes a triumphant march straight into the ALDS or a sudden detour through chaos. And as new updates swirl around some of the biggest names on this roster, the tension feels thick enough to cut with a knife. You'll want to stay right here with the Blue Jays report, because this is one of those days that fans remember forever. And before we go any further, if you're one of the legends who hasn't subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's ride this together. There's something surreal about waking up on the final day of the regular season knowing that everything still hangs in the balance. 161 games of sweat, stress, and stubborn belief, and it all funnels into 9 innings. This team has taken us through every possible emotion, from disbelief to frustration to quiet confidence, and now we're here. Game 162. The kind of day that makes even the calmest fans feel a little bit sick with nerves. And if you're feeling anxious right now, you're not alone. This is the game of our lives, at least as far as the regular season goes. Let's set the stage properly, because the stakes could not be clearer. The Blue Jays are locked into either finishing first or fourth in the American League postseason bracket. There is no middle ground. Boston and Detroit are the only teams that can still slide into the 5th spot, and the equation is brutally simple. A Jays win today, or a Yankees loss, sends Toronto straight to the ALDS with a precious week off. A Jays loss combined with a Yankees win drags this team into a wild card series against either the Red Sox or the Tigers. Everything hinges on today. That reality alone is enough to raise the heart rate, but the comments coming out of the clubhouse have added fuel to the fire. John Schneider summed it up perfectly when he said this is exactly the situation you want to be in. Baseball, in all its twisted humor, drags you through 162 games only to make the final one mean everything. And then there was that little detail that feels almost mythological at this point. The white panel hats. Back-to-back wins while wearing them, and yes, they're wearing them again today. Call it superstition, call it nonsense, but in moments like this, fans cling to anything that feels like a sign. On the mound today is the man you want in this spot. Kevin Gausman. There was some quiet speculation about whether he'd be handled carefully, whether this would be a shortened outing or something unusual, but all signs point to this being a normal start. Buck Martinez hinted at it on the broadcast, and everything since has reinforced that belief. Gausman is being trusted with the biggest start of the season, and frankly, there's no one else you'd rather see there. Since the All-Star break, he's been the ace in every sense of the word. When his splitter is dancing and his mechanics are clean, he doesn't just pitch, he suffocates. Of course, nothing in baseball is ever simple, and the opponent on the other side won't roll over politely. Ian Seymour gets the ball for the opposition, and Jays fans know exactly what that means. The last time Toronto saw him, he carved through the lineup with unsettling ease, going deep into the game and barely allowing anything of substance. He's a left-hander with a deceptive profile, someone who started as a reliever and now carries himself like a seasoned starter. The Jays will need adjustments, patience, and perhaps a bit of stubborn aggression to crack him this time. What gives this moment even more weight are the voices coming from inside the clubhouse. Ernie Clement didn't shy away from the spotlight when he said there's no doubt in their minds that this team can win a World Series. That's a bold statement on the eve of a do-or-die game, but it wasn't arrogance. It was belief. The kind that grows quietly over months of shared pressure. And then there was the praise for Trey Savage, a rookie who began the year in Single-A and suddenly found himself pitching in one of the biggest moments imaginable. He didn't just survive it, he embraced it, making big pitches and feeding off the moment like he'd been waiting for it his entire life. Still, even with all that confidence, this team desperately needs a win today for reasons beyond the standings. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. looks exhausted. The swing hasn't had the same bite recently, the timing feels just a fraction off, and the grind of the season is written all over him. Bo Bichette is still working his way back, and every extra day of rest matters. The bullpen has been asked to cover an enormous workload. A week off isn't a luxury, it's oxygen. The bullpen picture today is fascinating in its own right. Tommy Nance won't be available, but Jeff Hoffman should be. Yoriel Rodriguez is good to go. Brendan Little is an option. Eric Lauer has been used heavily, but in a game like this, every arm is on standby. If Gaussman needs help early, there will be no hesitation. This is not a day for caution. This is a day for commitment. Around the league, there are other threads quietly weaving into this story. The Yankees are playing the Orioles at the same time, and while Baltimore may not have everything on the line, they're not an organization known for gifting wins. If the Yankees lose, the Jays are in, no questions asked. But relying on help is never the preferred path. Take care of your own business, and the rest becomes irrelevant. That's why today feels so pure. Win, and everything opens up. Lose, and suddenly you're staring at a wild card series where anything can happen. The Tigers might be sliding, but they'd throw Tarik Skubal at you without hesitation. The Red Sox would bring noise, history, and chaos. Neither option is appealing when a clean path to the ALDS is right there for the taking. There are lineup questions too, especially with Seymour being a lefty. Expect right-hand bats. Expect Alejandro Kirk. Expect Davis Schneider. Expect Ernie Clement back in there. Anthony Santander will be in the mix. Dalton Varsho's glove almost guarantees his presence. Every decision today will feel magnified, every at-bat heavier than the last. And let's be honest, nerves are everywhere right now. This isn't a typical video. This is more like a collective deep breath. A moment to recognize what this season has been and what it could still become. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. shows up today, none of the struggles from the last few weeks will matter. If Gaussman deals the way he's capable of, this place will explode. Baseball has a way of redeeming everything in one afternoon. So let me ask you this. What's your score prediction? Drop it in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling right now. Nervous, confident, terrified, optimistic, or all of the above. And if you're still here with me, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report, because no matter what happens today, there will be another video later. Win or lose, we're covering it together. This has been a season few expected to reach this point. One win away from the ALDS. One win away from meaningful October baseball in Toronto. One win away from rest, recovery, and a real shot at something special. Buckle up, folks. Enjoy every pitch, every breath, every moment. No matter what happens, this ride has been unforgettable. And hopefully, in a few hours' time, we'll be back here celebrating together. Cheers.